Guadalupe from Bruno Planning Co. I'm going to be talking about the Ultimate Pen Folio from Erin Condren. This has been the topic of much discussion in the Facebook groups because of its overall size, and we will definitely talk about that. We'll talk about its quality, and then I also want to show you what fits in here and what I plan to organize in the folio. So let me pick you up and bring you to kind of my pen stash that I have here. So yes, I'm on the floor in my office because that's where I had the most space to put all of these pens. I had to take them from various places, and so I'm really excited to have them all in one. I haven't filled it yet, so I'm really excited to get to that part and show you everything that fits and how I plan to organize it. Okay, so let's talk about the size of this Ultimate Pen Folio, and ultimate is really a good word to use. So this is a 12.5 by 15 inches folio, and I brought some stuff along so you can see a little bit more of a comparison. So first of all, this is not a one-handed folio, so you can't really, hold it with one hand without it kind of flopping. I'm assuming once you have it filled, it's going to be very heavy. It's already kind of heavy for one hand, so definitely a two-hander if that helps. I have my life planner here. So the life planner actually looks really tiny in comparison. So this is my daily duo, but it's the same size as the vertical and the horizontal life planners. So definitely not as portable as the life planner. This is going to be a more kind of dramatic comparison here with the Petite folio. So this is the normal size Petite folios of Erin Condren, and this is my meal one, so you can see again how pretty ginormous this is. And I got a few more things. Let me see. I have the pencil pouch. So this is the Erin Condren pencil pouch, and you can see again how much larger this is. This is what I use to take around with me from home to school and back. So this is something that I recommend if this is way too big to carry around, and it's way too big to carry around in your bag every single day. I don't think that's what it was intended for. It's not really travel size. This is really what I recommend, and we'll talk about it a little bit more. Something that's a little bit more portable but still holds quite a bit of pens. And I actually have a review of the pencil case on my channel, so I'll link that down below in case you want to take a closer look. Here is my 13-inch MacBook Pro. So again, even bigger than that. I'm not quite sure if the 16-inch MacBook Pro would fit in here or the 15-inch. So just verify, maybe you can find someone who has that notebook. I only have the 13-inch, so this would definitely fit in here if I wanted to. But again, this is not something that I would plan on carrying around with me. And I already have a sleeve for my MacBook. And then the last thing I wanted to show you in comparison is the Teacher Planner Folio. So this one is the Planner Folio, but it's for the teacher version. So it's not the Life Planner version. As you can see, the Life Planner is too small, but this does fit the Teacher Planner coiled versions. And again, you can see this is a lot, I think, more portable for sure than the Ultimate Pen Folio, just because, it's just so much taller and a little bit wider. It's actually not as wide as I thought it was going to be, but definitely a lot taller. So just keep that in mind. I think maybe people were looking for something maybe along this size for the pen folio. So I don't know if the Erin Condren team wants to think about that and maybe have it to be a little bit more portable. But again, I feel like the pencil case is the way to go if you really want portability with a lot of pens. So hopefully if you order one, you watch this video, you can have an idea of how ginormous this is. And once we start putting pens in it, you will also see kind of how much you can fit and how heavy it might be too once you put all your pens in here. Okay, so the quality. This is actually the same neoprene material, and sorry if there's little fuzzies on it. That's because my rug is shedding. My husband bought it for me for Christmas, and we just got it a few weeks ago, and I just realized that it sheds. Not having to do anything with the pen folio, sorry, but yeah, I'm a little disappointed about the rug. Anyways, this is made of neoprene, just like a lot of other things. So the pencil case is also made up of the same material. So I really, really love this, and I'm gonna talk about it here in a second, but that's the pencil case. And then of course the planner folios, so the teacher one and then the regular life planner size, they're also made of that same material. And again, I really like it, especially for the pencil cases, because they stretch. So it's not a rigid material. It stretches to fit what's inside. So even though, you think it's stuffed to the brim, you can always fit more in here because it'll give, which is really great when you have a lot of things to take with you. And I use this pencil case every single day from home to work, unzipping it, zipping it, throwing it in my bag, not really paying much attention to it, it really does last. I mean, it won't rip. The zipper is really nice and thick, and it seems like it's gonna last quite a long time. So again, and I've been using this, I think, since the beginning of the school year in September or August-ish. So yeah, it's definitely a very durable material. Now this is a pencil case, so I definitely love that it's durable for this, just because I use it every day. For this, because it's the same material, it's really great because I know it'll last, but I actually want to use this more as storage. So this won't get, you know, thrown around a lot. And again, it's not really travel size. So it's great that it's the same material. I know it will definitely keep up. So let's just kind of look at it. So I chose this mid-century circles design, and there are a few patterns that are available. So I'll put that here. So you have these really beautiful colors, and you can do a lot of different colorways as well. So I chose this black background with like kind of a blush color, just to give it a little bit of a pop. I always like to choose dark backgrounds, especially with stuff that gets handled, just because I want to make sure that it doesn't get dirty and things like that. So just like my pencil case, I chose a dark background with these really pretty flowers so that I don't accidentally get it dirty, or accidentally, you know, if I mark it with a marker, it won't necessarily show as much. I actually always have that trouble with my pencil pouches because I'm using pens so near it and so frequently that they end up being covered with pen marks. So this is actually really great, but they have some really great options and customization. So again, you have that very kind of soft, slick material on the outside, and whatever design you choose on the front, actually the back will always be black. So I know that I chose the black here on the top, but the sides and the back will always be black. And then if we look at the zipper, it's this really nice, again, thick zipper. I chose, let's see if it focuses, but I think you can choose a gold or a rose gold zipper. I just chose the neutral one, the platinum one, just because I didn't want to pay the extra cost. I think it's a few more dollars to get a different colored zipper. So yeah, it zips really nice. It unzips very nice. I actually think it's a little bit different than the pencil case. Actually, let me compare it very quickly. So if I look, actually, I thought the pencil case one looked a little bit thicker, but I think they're exactly the same. Yeah, they look pretty much the same, probably the same manufacturer for these. Okay, so that zips really nice. And again, I don't have any doubts that this will keep up over time. And so let me unzip it so we can start looking at the inside. So first thing, this cover is not a rigid cover. And for most of the other things, it's very similar, like the planner folio and the pencil case. You don't have that rigid cover. Again, it's really nice because that means even if it's bulky, it'll still close. It'll, you know, just form to whatever is inside. So when you open it, you have a completely clear cover here. There's no pockets on the cover. Okay, so in the middle is where you get to the fun part. You have this bifold, which opens like this. Let me slide this over a little bit. There we go. So it opens like that. So the first kind of fold that you get are a couple of pockets. Actually, you have one large pocket, then a medium-ish pocket, or two medium-ish pockets on the bottom, but this large one here, nothing up here. And then when you open it up, you get to the pen loops. So you have a few pen loops up there on the top, some here on the bottom, and then a nice little pocket right here. In total, there are 5 pockets in this planner. So I already showed you 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's one in the back. So there's the pen loops, and there's a little bit of string that I noticed, but I, you know, definitely clip those off. We'll talk about the pen loops here in a second. So let me go to the back. So that was the front and the middle, and then you flip it to the back, you get all of these extra pen loops here as well. And what's holding it together in the middle is really cute because they use this elastic band which has kind of like this glittery shimmer. It's really pretty. And on the very, very back of your pen folio, you will have this huge pocket in here. So this is where I saw a lot of people put their laptops. Again, I wouldn't necessarily take this with me everywhere, but that is definitely something you can do if you want. Again, this is the 13-inch MacBook, so of course that fits really nice. I don't know how protected that is in there. It's a little flimsy and it kind of slides if you can hear it. So I don't know if I would trust it as like laptop protector. I have one that actually fits it. So I guess it depends on where you're taking it. So there you go. So you had those 5 pockets, including this one. So for the pen loops, there are 87 loops, which I counted all of the pens that I showed you earlier, and they're not all going to fit. So I will have to kind of nitpick which ones are going to go in here, and then maybe I'll have to get another one. I don't know, we'll see. I think they're gonna stack really nicely. I'm actually going to be storing this horizontally because I like my pens stored horizontally. And so stacking them is something that I could definitely do. All right, so one thing I want to say before I start putting some pens in here is I noticed that, so again, there's 87 of these loops. I noticed that 3 of them, or 4 of them are actually a little bit larger than the rest. So if you notice, this is in the middle part, by the way. Let me start over here. So in the middle parts, there are 4 that are a little bit larger than these. You can see those are a little bit smaller. These are small as well, but those 4 I noticed were a little bit larger. I'm not sure if that was on purpose or if everybody gets some like that. On the other side, you have them all small. It looks like it was definitely on purpose because all of these are tiny. The ones all the way in the back are for tiny or thin pens, but you do get those 4, which I thought was really nice. I can kind of think of which pens might not fit in the smaller ones, so we'll go ahead and take a look once I start filling this up. So I'm gonna fast forward the part where I'm putting the pens in here, just because I know that I'm gonna maybe try different ways, and then I'll come back and we'll talk about what I was able to fit and what everything looks like. Okay, so it's all filled up. You saw everything that I put in there, and then I did leave these pens out, and I'll talk about that when I go through what I actually did end up putting in. But I just wanted to show you with everything that I put in how not very thick it is. So it didn't really change much in thickness. It doesn't feel bulky at all. It feels more rigid for sure. So now, you know, I still can't hold it in one hand just because it is a little bit heavy and it'll hurt your hand. It's still a two-hander, but again, it's not as thick as I had imagined it would get. And again, because you have this material that stretches a little bit, you won't get any kind of rigidness from the outside, but you can definitely feel the inside and the pens. Okay, so let me show you what I ended up putting in here. So first, oh no. Okay, so I was shaking it and these kind of came off. I might have to put, maybe I put these in here where it's a little bit tighter. So I guess something to keep in mind, anything you put in here, this is actually not elastic like the back. So anything that you put in here, if it's really thin, like these refills, then it will definitely kind of fly out like it just did. So be careful with that. So I decided to use this front pockets for some refills for my pens. So I have a bunch of these 0.5 Energel refills that I use for my pen that I use in my planners. So I use these Pentel Energel Klena pens, and they're the 0.5, and they are refillable. So you'll see me use these in my planners if you follow me on Instagram. This is a pink/red color. I just have the other ones on my desk right now, but this is what it looks like. And of course I have a bunch of refills. I've actually used 2 of the entire refills already, which I never do with any pens, but that's why I need a bunch of refills. I have some brush pens here, some more refills, and then a pencil that's also kind of extra. So I'll keep these there, and then I'll fill it up with anything else that I have extra around. And in the middle is where I really wanted to fit all of my dual tip markers from Erin Condren. I love these for school and for doing notes, but now since we're doing remote learning, there isn't a lot of paper, but I still like to use them for my own notes just to color code a little bit. So I'm really glad that they all fit here. These are, I thought I had more, but I guess a lot of them were duplicates. So these are all duplicates that I don't plan on keeping here. Once I use one up or something, or if I put one in my pencil pouch, then I will go ahead and fill it with one of my duplicates. But these I'm just going to keep somewhere else. Maybe I'll get another pen folio for my duplicates, but I'm not so sure right now. And then on the bottom here, I just wanted to keep some more things that I use, like my color pencils, some gel pens. These are actually from Erin Condren as well, and they're really nice. I don't know if they sell them on the website, but they came as a free gift with the teacher planner, I think a couple of years ago. And then I also put some of my extra metallic gel pens, which just came out recently as well. I want to do a review on these because I absolutely love them, and I want to start using them in my planner a little bit more, and hopefully showcase them there as well because they're so pretty. And I actually have a larger set here that I keep on my desk. So this one just has a few more colors, but these were the ones in the winter surprise box. So a lot of EC pens in this section, but I wanted to keep it things that I use, all these different colors that I can flip to when I'm want to be a little bit more colorful than just black and white. So that's what I really had in mind for this middle part, just a bunch of different colors. And I do have a bunch of other colors on the top. So I have a ton of these tool pens. So I included the black ones here. So the tool pens are actually what I used to use in my planner. But what ended up happening is a lot of them started to skip on me, and I was not having a good time with them. I know a lot of people swear by them, and there's a lot of people in the planner community that love them, and I get it. I used to love them too, and then they started skipping, and then I'm sorry, it was over with those. So once I found these Pentel Energel ones, I'm not going back. Again, I've used 2 of these already all the way, which I've never done with pens. So I think I'm just going to stick with these. And so that's why I didn't put the tool pens in here. I decided if I'm not going to use them, maybe I'll try to sell them. They're all brand new, so I'll just keep them somewhere else. And then I also have a bunch of Inkjoy pens, which are also very popular, of course, because they're so vibrant and beautiful. I'm not quite sure what I want to do with them right now. I might put some of my favorite ones in here just because, again, they're kind of colorful. I don't have a lot, but they are super pretty, especially this one. This is like I know it looks brown, but it's actually like a really beautiful dark purple color, and I really love this one. So I think I will put these here. Usually when I want things to be darker, I use the markers or the fine tip sometime as well. So I don't really have a ton of use for these, but I do love some of these colors. So I think I will pick and choose which ones I want to add. I also have a ton of Staedtler fine liners, and these are really great. I use them quite a bit, but if you've ever used them before, the tip is super, super thin, and I'm very heavy-handed, I found. So I end up just kind of damaging the tip very, very quickly just because I push down on paper so much. So even though they're so beautiful, I can't use them. I don't think I will sell these. I think I'll probably will keep them just in case I want to do any kind of like fine detail work. I want to start drawing a little bit more in my planners. So maybe I'll keep them around just in case I need them for something a little bit more fine, and maybe I won't, damage them as quickly if I'm using them for that purpose. So I'll definitely find another place for them. I don't know if it'll be another pen folio. I might be convinced if there's a sale or something. Okay, so in the back, you also saw me put a lot of kind of more functional pens. So in the middle, we have all the colorful ones, things that'll brighten things up a little bit. And then here's where I'm keeping the extras of things that I use quite a bit. So I have the Erin Condren dual tip, which are the same as the ones in the middle, but these are black, of course. So a lot of black here. I have the Inkjoy black ones. I have some uni and some pilot ones as well. The friction pens I use a lot in my teacher planner. So these are just extras there. I have some micron ones that I like to use for my planner spreads. And then I also have some Statler ones as well, the black ones. Again, don't use them quite that often, but I did want to keep them kind of together with all the black ones. And then I also have some Muji pens. These are extras. So again, these are a little bit more functional, ones that I use quite often. And I tried again to organize it pretty functionally too. So here's where I have kind of my stash of refills, and then right away I can flip over to the more functional ones. And then if I want to get really creative, then I can flip over to all the colorful ones. So I thought that made a little bit of logical sense for me, but we'll see if I end up changing it up. So this is holding up really well, by the way. So it's very sturdy for all of these pens that I went ahead and put in. And as you can see, I still have a little bit of space. So I didn't fill up every single slot, but it feels really nice, really rigid. It is a little bit heavy, of course, but it doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart or anything like that. And then in the back, actually, I was really happy that this fit here, because these I just got from a mystery box that I bought from Archer and Olive. So Archer and Olive is a brand that I'm using for my sticker shop planner. And the mystery box included these really wonderful pens that I haven't actually tried before, but they look absolutely gorgeous. So let me open it up for you here. So look how beautiful those colors are. So these are acrylograph. If you ever use a chalk marker, that's kind of what it reminds me of. It looks very kind of like graphic designy, and it's very smooth. I can't wait to use these. These are super exciting. And I didn't want to take them out of this packaging because I think it's gorgeous, and then it has a nice like instructions on how to keep them and things like that. So I wanted to keep it intact, and so it's so convenient that it just fits in there. I was wondering what I was going to use this large pocket for, but this works so well. I'm so happy that it fit in there, and I actually just got this week, so great timing for sure. Okay, so in terms of getting my pens in and out of the loops, so I had a little bit of trouble. So let me go to the middle so I can show you. First, the big pen loops, they're definitely much bigger. I didn't want to start putting these in here just because they were going to look a little bit spaced out and not as nice. So let me show you. See how they would have just looked a little bit more spaced out. So I just started my dual tip markers where they were a little bit smaller. And what I would do actually is I would put the Inkjoy ones in here just because they go in a little bit smoother. So yeah, so the pen loops, as you can see, my finger doesn't actually fit in there, but I mean, I don't know, my finger might be a little bit big, but they fit the dual tip markers pretty nicely. So let me slide that in. See, I don't even have to use my finger to open it up. You can just kind of slide it in from the bottom, because if you were to do it from the top, you probably couldn't because of the pen cap. But this is really great. I mean, you know, I'm sure that they meant the size to fit very nicely with the dual tip markers. These color pencils were wonderful just because they slid very nicely into place. So not a big deal there. These gel pens, of course, were also very nice. Thin things were very good. These right here were okay because they have a smooth barrel, so I could just slide those in. That's really important to me, especially with the ones I'm going to be using a little bit more often. So these are really great. Now for these over here, especially the Inkjoy. So if you're a big Inkjoy fan and you want to put all of your Inkjoy pens in here with all the different colors, it's gonna take a minute. It's not gonna be, you know, a big deal, but you know, the Inkjoy, and even just taking it out, the Inkjoy are thick, right? And they also have this kind of rubberized comfort grip, right? And it's really nice for writing, of course. But sliding it in, it's gonna be a little bit of a struggle. I don't know if you can do it one-handed. You maybe can't. You might have to just wiggle, and then it'll slide here. So it's not a big deal, but I mean, it's not as smooth as the dual tip that don't have kind of this grip. I was doing something not that great. I was like holding it with my finger and then sliding the pen. So opening it and then holding, but then that ended up, it really hurt my finger. So I don't suggest doing that. I would just try to wiggle and do it like that because I was hurting myself. And I'm like, why is this hurting? Well, because I'm jamming it with the pen. So these two, the friction. So if you're a big friction fan as well, they have the rubber. So just be aware that it's going to take a little bit of time to get it in and out. just because of that rubber. Everything else was okay. These were fine. Of course, the dual tip and then my Mujis were also okay just because, again, they're smooth. So just keep that in mind. If you have anything that's thicker than the Inkjoy, I would, you know, recommend using the 4 slots that are a little bit larger. But again, just keep in mind that, you know, I don't know how much larger you can go on the normal sized pen loops. So I actually don't intend to open this up all the time. This is going to be like maybe on the weekend or maybe once or twice a week or something like that. This isn't where I'm keeping the pens that I use daily. So I just wanted to keep that. I wanted you to keep that in mind as well. I don't see this being a nuisance if you want to open it every single day and get your favorite pens out, especially if you have space to put this on, maybe somewhere horizontally. But for me, this is really storage for things that I use, again, maybe once or twice a week. What I use every single day is actually on my desk. So let me show you that stuff that I didn't actually put in here. So I use my mild liners and some of the Erin Condren dual tip highlighters as well. These stay on my desk because I use those daily. I have my zig dot markers as well. These are on my desk because I use them daily. And this is something actually new that I'm using and I'm really excited about it. They're so nice. And if you haven't seen any of my spreads, definitely take a look so you can see them in action. And then I also have a set of those gel pen markers that are new. The metallic ones, they're so pretty. Can't wait to use them a little bit more. So those are on my desk. And then the last thing that I have on my desk is my, oh, I actually did have these here. So these are the Pentel Energel pens that I use all of the time. I have a black dual tip marker that I use to write names for my sticker shop. And then I have a brush pen, my Muji black pen, or my Muji black blue pen actually, pencils, a brush pen, my tweezers for stickers. I don't know if you guys wanted to know what I had on my desk, but anyways, this is what I have on my desk. And I just wanted to say that, you know, this isn't including all of my kind of pen stash. Everything that I use daily, I do like to keep on my desk just so it's more accessible. And again, I don't know if I want to put all of my mild liners in here and then have to bust this out on a daily basis to plan. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do that every single day. I really enjoy having my mild liners on my desk so I can see them and get a little bit more kind of like inspiration in terms of colors. And my functional ones, of course, I definitely want to be able to grab those very quickly. So I almost stopped filming and just realized that I didn't show you my Tombow brush pens. So these I actually did want to fit in here. I saw them on the windowsill and I was like wondering why they were still there and not over here. So I did want to try to fit these in here, but of course I have no more space. But let me show you, if you do have the Tombow brush pens, let me show you how they fit. That's not the right loop I want. I want the thin one. So just slide that in real nice. Perfect. Will they fit on top of each other though? That's a question that I'm looking at. Okay, so the Tombow ones. I'm glad I'm doing this because some of you guys might have this and want this specifically for the Tombow. So yeah, the Tombow are really tall. Let me try them over here. So if I put one on top, I put one on the bottom. All right, so they will not fit. And I mean, I could have probably calculated the dimensions of them, but it's good to see. So they're not going to fit on top of each other, which means if you want to have the Tombow in here, I suggest that you use just one side. But then you do have to be careful with what you put on the other side. So keep that in mind. I guess it's a good thing that I didn't try to put these in here just because they're not fitting, which is okay. I do like having the Tombows a little bit closer to my desk like my other pens. So I'm not too bummed that they don't necessarily fit in here because they're also great for like color inspiration as well. So yeah, I mean, you can probably fit them here like that, but I don't know if that's necessarily what people are looking for. So they're just a tad too long. But again, I think if you just use either the top or the bottom for them, that should be okay. Okay, so there's the ultimate pen folio. I'm so excited I was able to organize it here with you. I never can find time to do this kind of organization, so I'm really glad I got to share it with you and my thought process behind it. I really do love it. I think it's great quality. I think it's beautiful. There's so many different options. It's great for storage. And again, if you want something a little bit more portable and that fits a lot of pens, I would highly recommend the pencil case that fits quite quite a few pens, as well as, you know, has this big compartment for other things as well. I hope the video was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, I would love it if you liked and subscribed to the channel. I have much more to come this year, and I love to have you with me. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment, and I'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.